FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh here on Sunday the 26th of March 2023 with FLOSSTUBE number 170. Welcome back to my weekly YouTube video about counted cross stitch. Pleased to have you here. Yeah, it's nice to be visiting with, feels like I visit with friends every week, even though I get delayed response from comments, etc. I have a little bit to show you, not a lot of haul or anything, just one chart I purchased this morning just for, so it's something to show you really, but no, it was, had a coupon code, so I decided to get it. I've just been so busy at work, it's been ridiculous, and trying to recover from an injury. Like a few weeks ago, I didn't really mention it, but I kind of pulled my Achilles. I injured my Achilles a little bit. Self-diagnosed because he's got time to go to physio. But it was coming good, and then last week when I was out and about, I kind of rushed across the road, you know, jaywalking as we do here in New Zealand. Why walk to a crossing when you can jaywalk? And I kind of re-injured. I kind of like, you know, sort of rushing, I'm not going to say running, but sort of quickly darting across the road. I just kind of re-aggravated it. It is feeling the best today that it has, but it has slowed me down doing stuff like, I think I mentioned last week, trying to put my house back together from putting my TV cabinet in, and mostly done. I still have to do the garage though, because I just don't have it in me to be kind of straining it really. Anyway, it's getting better, so yay. Did I mention I was doing a pantry challenge? I'm not sure if I did. I might have, may have, not sure. But the last 3, going into week 4, I just decided that I needed to use up what I had and not go to the supermarket if I could help it. I have a bit of a glut of veggies coming in from my garden and from other people's gardens, so people seem to share their surplus with me, and I'm sharing my surplus tomatoes with people at the moment. I had quite a lot of veggies from a wonky box. What's that, a vegetable seconds sort of box? You just get a box of random stuff. Lots of meat in the freezer, potatoes from my garden, potatoes from my wonky box, etc, etc. So I've been avoiding the supermarket, which has been quite cool, but it means I'm getting to the point where I'm now making up kind of random things. So today I'm going to make a tomato, and it's called tomato pie, but it's essentially tomato and cheese, kind of like a pizza but in a pie really, which by all accounts is quite tasty, so hopefully that works out and I can have that for lunches this week. I'll make pastry and everything like that. I did make some blueberry and lemon muffins. The blueberries were from a friend's garden, and the muffins, no, the lemons were from another friend. They're a bit average though. They're fine, they're just a bit bland. So if anyone has a really good like blueberry and lemon, or lemon and something muffin recipe, send me a link in the doobly-doo, or email me on my emails below as well, because these just are a little bit bland. I think if they'd had butter, not oil, that might have been better. The top's nice with lemon, little bit of lemon and a little bit of sugar on top, but yeah, they're a bit bland, so they're not that great, but they're fine. I do like to make muffins and things, so when I take my lunch to work, I can have a little sweet treat with lunch, just a little something, so I don't go to a dairy and buy a chocolate bar or 2 chocolate bars, because I do try and take my lunch to work most of the time, and you know, when I'm at home I eat my lunch. I don't try not to buy my lunch more than once a fortnight, because usually it's very expensive and also not that great, like quite dissatisfactory. Anyway, that's kind of random. So yeah, I've been enjoying the challenge of just making things work. I've got some pesto to make this afternoon. I need to get some bread proving, and then I'll prove overnight, and I'll bake tomorrow. So I've only bought one loaf of bread in the last 3 weeks. I've made the rest of the bread myself. I allowed myself like a $30 to $40 a fortnight budget to buy fruit, because I didn't have any fruit on hand at any kind of thing I felt like I needed, like dairy, although I haven't had to buy any dairy. I've had various cheese, and I've got milk powder and stuff, and I did buy a loaf of bread this week, so I just felt like some Vogels, not my own bread. And what else have I bought? Oh, I did buy some coriander or cilantro, so I can make a couple of things with that this week. So yeah, I'm going to see if I can get to the end of next week without going to the supermarket as well. So that'll be it's just kind of fun to use what you've got. And I guess I just ended up with a lot of stuff and I need to use it and not go buy new ingredients when I've got perfectly good ingredients at home. Does that make sense? Anyway, little update on Dad. He's doing okay, not really okay, sort of okay. Again, he did ask, he has asked for more assistance at home from, the health service basically, with a little bit more help. Particularly, he is expecting to have shoulder surgery soon, and he is going to need more help with that. And because he's getting his dominant arm done, his other shoulder's a bit bugger too. But and things like he's struggling to get wood in and stuff. Some days he's too tired to do that. So if they can come in the afternoon and help get wood in, and he still already has help with dinner if he needs it. So he's just finding with his back and just everything. He's just finding he's running out of steam and doesn't have a lot of strength, but he's doing okay. Work's insane. Don't want to talk about it. What else did I do this week? I went to a movie on Thursday with my movie friend Lauren, and it was A Living, which is with Bill Nye in it, and it was a lovely, sweet and sad, slow movie that the Brits do incredibly well, and it was just a lovely little movie to recommend if you don't need exciting drama and car chases and superheroes. If you like that slow TV kind of thing, slow movie, little slice of life, just ordinary people, I recommend it. Okay, should we talk about some stitching? And I did buy a chart this morning. I saw it on someone's YouTube and I can't remember who. They flashed it up recently, and I went immediately to Etsy and favorited it, and then I got one of those coupon offers from the shop, so I decided why not to get it while I could get 10% off, but also it meant I have something to show. But it is really lovely, and it's from Heart Song Stitchery. They're chart number 20, and it's called Plant Seeds, and it says plant seeds and sing songs, tra-la-la. It doesn't say tra-la-la, I said that. But I think it's really lovely. Perfect chart for randomizing, using up stuff from your stash. It is full of classic color works. It's got 12 classic color works, and it is the sort of thing where you really only need, looks like 2 shades of blue, a burgundy, a couple of shades of burgundy, a couple of shades of pink. It's that perfect one where you can pick just two colours that you like that go together and substitute very easily. I think it only has one. It's got 2 greens, I presume barrel cactus and chopped chives are greens. Blue Moon and Rain Shower, Chesapeake Bay, chopped chives. I should just show you the list if you're interested. That's the classic Colourworks list, of which I probably have 1 or 2, and I will just substitute. Don't know when I'm going to do it, but I did have a look at my fabric this morning. It's called for 40 count, so with a 5-inch border I need, I think 12.25 inches by 11.25 inches by 11.75 inches. Had a look at what I had. The called for's on Ancient from Picture This Plus. So first glance it's like a caramelly colour, but when you look up close it has sort of bluey grey smudges. First of all I thought, well this would work. It's got the caramelly colour, but I don't really want to cut into a full fat quarter. Oh, that's 36 count anyway, and I want to do it on 40. That's Salted Caramel by Number 12 Stitch Co. So I did think about that. I had mistakenly put that in the 40 count section of my storage, and it's actually 36, so we wouldn't use that anyway. You could just do it on cream. This is enough. I've got this is an off card of Toy Toy from Country Stitch. But then I realised I had this mind-blowing, I don't want to take it out of the plastic, mind-blowing by picture this by Fortnite Fabrics. This is a piece I have left from, I cut into this to do the Dracula one by Lindy Stitches. I can't remember what it's called now, but it would be, it kind of has those smudgy colours. So I think that, and I have enough, I've got 17 inches by 18 inches left, and I only need 12 by 12 basically. So I think that I can make that work with probably darken a few of these colours, but I don't know. That's what I think at the moment. When am I going to start it? I don't know. I don't know. It's not kitted up yet. Could be kitted up in about half an hour if I wanted to. But yeah, I just thought I'll get that because it's really pretty and I really like it. Stitching. I've stitched on quite a lot this week. I don't know how. I just did. Too many late nights. What did I do first? First thing I did was I picked up Crowns of the Kingdom on Sunday night. I think it was Sunday night. This is Crowns of the Kingdom here, which I'm stitching on all the called for 32 count antique white linen and the called for Petite Treasure Braids. This is a stitch along that I'm doing with Susie Lambert here in New Zealand. And I started this on the Memorial Day we had in New Zealand for Queen Elizabeth II. And I'm just, every month just stitching a handful of crowns. And so it's one of my monthly stitches that I hadn't yet stitched on. So I picked it up on Sunday night and I did, I think 5 crowns. Let me have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I did 5 crowns. I'll just show you where we're at. Of course, I stitched from bottom up. That's where we're at. It's a couple of errors in counting over here that I've worked around, so you can't tell. And the 5 that I got done, if you care, this big one here, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So each time I pick it up, I kind of tend to pick a big crown and then a couple of little small ones. Obviously when, there's a couple of big ones over here, but yeah. Next time I pick it up, I'll attack some in the middle. But I'm probably, this crown here is still not halfway up because that's here. So I've stitched here and here, so there's a bit, I'll come into here. This middle cartouche, I think I'm gonna not stitch that crown in the middle, and instead I'm gonna put something about the QE2's reign. So like, the 70 years or something in there. Just, again, not a particularly a royalist, but it's something to note. And yeah, so I'm quite happy with that. And I know Susie picked hers up as well. So it's just nice to chip away at that. I'm being very good. Well, actually, it's quite a good project to do as a stitch along because I don't want to stitch on it all the time. I enjoy it, but after stitching 5 crowns in Petite Treasure Braid, I want to go back to silk. I'm like, I don't want to stitch, it's a big project. I don't want to stitch this all monogamous because it's a lot of that just, would get on my goat after a while. But yeah, really pleased to be stitching that. Okay, then on Monday night, keep in mind, actually, it was Sunday evening as well because those crowns I probably spent an hour or so on. I don't know. On Sunday and Monday night, I picked up, wanted to finish, so I grabbed Mairmaid's song from Carriage House Samplings. So last time you saw this, everything was done except for the ocean, the satin stitch in the ocean, and I had held off doing that until I picked up a little hoop because it's satin stitch over 8 threads or 10 threads at the bottom, and you want it to sit really nicely. So I picked that up on Sunday night and Monday night, and I pushed for a finish on it. It was quite straightforward, not a lot of counting really, just go along. This was on 40 count Shortbread by Country Stitch, which I used my own overdyed conversion, a range of threads from different dyers, And what did I write down there? Oh, Death by Satin Stitch. That was a lot of satin stitch. So this was start number 49 of 50 right at the end of the year last year for my 50 at 50. And I started it, so 22nd of December and finished at 20th of March. And here she is. And my colour Ocean's quite different. I picked a bluey greeny colour called Ocean Mist by Victoria and Motto Sampler Shop, and there she is in her glory. Worked all around. There's a whole lot of counting errors. She's like 1 stitch thinner than she should be, and her tail is 1 stitch higher, and anyway, it was fine. You just work around it. But and there's a satin stitch there, so it's over 8 threads vertically, so it's just 1 strand because it's on 40 count. So did I say 40 count? I did. I had thought about padding the satin stitch, but it's just too much. I was just too lazy. Where you run a horizontal thread that you then stitch over, so it makes it a little bit more plump. And I'm quite happy with it, with the coverage and how all the stitches lay. And show you the back, since we're showing our backs lately. Here's the back of my project. So if I hold it back, it looks pretty good, right? It's not too bad. There we go. So yeah, really happy to get her finished. I love this sort of vintage, sort of gothic, primitive design style. In case you want to know what it says on it, eyes look not on the mermaid's face, nor ears forbear her songs. Her face hath an alluring grace, more charming is her tongue. Very cool. I'm going to give this away. So this is past the stash. I didn't take a working copy from this when I started it because I wasn't anywhere near a printer that photo. Anyway, I didn't take it into work. So there are a couple of extra folds in the chart. I folded it, so it comes with a fold in half, and I folded it there and I folded it there just when I was working at the top or the bottom. So they're nice clean folds. They don't interrupt the text at all, but yeah, there is, it's not as new. It's still in perfectly good nick, and it's free if you win it. So, you know, if you don't like an extra fold in the chart. So yeah, I have taken this in and out of the plastic a few times, given that I never did a working copy, which is very unusual for me. But once it started, I couldn't be bothered, so I'm quite lazy. So if you'd like to go in the draw to win her, put in your comments something about Mairmaid, but you need to spell it correctly. So you need to spell it M-A-I-R-M-A-I-D. Do not spell it M-E-R. I will not search for that. I will search for this spelling, M-A-I-R-M-A-I-D. Leaving that up there for a while so you can write it down in case you need a pen. Take a screenshot. Cool. Just mention something about Mermaid, and I'll draw somebody next week. And anywhere is welcome. As always, don't use any kind of trigger words or spammy words like giveaway, free, win, prize, or whatever. But just, yeah, tell me, I don't know, do you like mermaid mythology? Would you like to stitch the mermaid? Do you like my mermaid? Presumably you're only entering because you're quite interested in stitching it. Of course, if you don't want to do the satin stitch, you do not need to do the satin stitch. You could just do X's, or, you know, pick a variegated floss to get some waves in there. You could do 2 or 3 different colors. You could, you don't need to stitch the words. You could just stitch that, or just add that bottom bit in there if you wanted. It's quite a flexible chart, I think. You could certainly adapt it without losing, you know, it would still look equally lovely, but I love that kind of poetic phrase. I think it's quite fun, and I don't mind stitching words that go really quickly for me, because I just don't mind stitching them. So there you go. I've held that up long enough. It's probably going to be my screenshot. So yeah, mention the word Mermaid if you're interested in being in the draw to pass the stash. And of course I used all my own colours. Really, again, another one that you could swap. They're called for NPIs, which is, you know, pricey. And you can use stuff from your stash. I used overdyed. You could use, I think I did use the Call for DMC for her skin, because I couldn't find an overdye that didn't make her look like she was completely lacking melanin. Yeah, let me know if you're interested in that. Okay, on Tuesday, a bunch of us on the New Zealand Facebook group, New Zealand Cross Stitch Facebook group, I should use the proper name, the New Zealand Cross Stitch Facebook group, kicked off a we call it a sale, but you know, it's quite funny for the smallest project ever, from the When the Leaves Fall book, because the 21st was the autumn equinox here in New Zealand, so it's just official astronomical start of autumn. Oh god, my words. So Tuesday was the autumn equinox, the astronomical first day of autumn here in New Zealand. So a lot of us, quite a few people had recently bought the When the Leaves Fall book, and like Alex and Zeb had, let's do a sale for this, and Zeb was like, let's do a stretch goal, let's finish it by the 1st, and a few people were like, oh, that's not very long, and I'm like, well, to be fair, it'll be a start and a finish for me because it's tiny. And I think last week I showed you I was going to do it on 40 count, but the colours didn't work, because I pulled my own threads. They're beautifully displayed here in this tangled mess, and they just didn't work on the 40 count. And to be fair, it's 40 count that I don't like. It's not as Zweigut based, and it was just like, oh, I don't want to do this. So I switched to 32 count platinum. I put 2 stitches in, the other fabric went nope. Went and had a look at what I had in 32 count. Oh no, went and had a look at what I had in a lighter fabric, and I had a scrap of 32 count. Anyway, 4 or 5 of us joined a messenger chat, a Facebook event, whatever. I don't even know what it is. I'm old, I just clicked join. On Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. I think I started this about 7 p.m. after dinner. I sat down and got started. We joined at 8 and finished up about 10, and I finished it before we hung up. So I stitched in about 3 hours. But the thing is that Zeb had started it earlier in the morning, I think, and she finished it either that night or the next morning. I think Alex, who else has finished? Helen couldn't join us. I think she's, at least 4 of us have finished it, and the other 1 or 2 are very close to finishing it, of the 6 or so. And then someone else is going to do it, but their book got delayed. Anyone can join at any time. In fact, I think several people are probably going to start another one in the same book, but we'll just use the same hashtag maybe. So it's Sky Full of Birds. Where is it in the book? It's quite a lot of chat about the world's smallest project, and I haven't even shown you what the project is. Here it is, here. So there it is, there. That's all with the call for. So I ended up doing it on 32 count, and it has a few eyelets, and I'm really happy with it. So there's so the called for was stitched on 36 count and then finished on a box. Mine is on 32 count, and I'm going to finish it in the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be a gift for somebody. But I could probably stitch it for myself. I can take another evening. I have plenty of this scrap of 32 count left, so I probably will just stitch it again. So I've kept all the flosses out. Yeah, so that was Sky Full of Birds by Blackbird Designs. Yeah, starting to finish on 21st of March. I'm just finding random stickers in my stash to make my cards look a little bit prettier. And those same bunch of flosses, if you've pulled them for one project, they are also used on, there's a sampler in here, uses the same, oh, where is it? It's probably at the front. Oh yeah, so this Token of Love uses the same flosses, as well as an additional one, Stormy Nights, which is the house is stitched in. So if I find myself a nice blue, I could whip this one up. I do think it's quite a cute sampler. so I'm keeping those flosses together because they look nice together, and I might, this one doesn't call for Schneckly, which is, was one that you only use on 5 eyelets on the other one. But yeah, that's one that could probably be whipped up. I'm also another one in this book that I'm quite keen to stitch on sometime in the near future, but not to make as a bag. It's called a Scottish Fling. So it's a Scottish sampler here, that's part of it. I don't think, and there's the bottom of it, like obviously that would be, those flowers and crowns are really pretty. I don't want to do it as a bag, but quite keen to do that, but it uses a different palette. It's not the same. There's a couple of the flosses are the same, but it calls for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It only calls for 6 flosses, 3 weeks in 1 Gentle Arts. And of course it's full of eyelets, because that's what they do in these Scottish samplers, and 4-sided stitch. We like those. So yeah, that one might be kitted up. And in fact, might be a really good one for some of this fabric. This is that 36 count salted caramel. Could end up being on that. And this was on 32 count using 2 strands, so I probably would do 36 count, use 1. Who knows? It's a future thing. But yeah, it's a lovely book. There's some cute little, I love this little, but I need to find, I don't know if it's a banding or something that has this, it's stitched, this roll is stitched on this fabric with something on the side. I think it's banding. Quite like the idea of finishing it like that. What is it stitched on? And they coffee dyed after they've stitched it. Oh, toweling fabric. It says 1 6-yard toweling fabric with black banding. That someone was holding. I don't even know. That looks like it'd be really hard to find in New Zealand, and I don't know that I'm going to contact quilterstation.com and ask them for it, but who knows. I like the look of it, but maybe I could just stitch something and replicate it with thread. That was quite a lot. Just talk about the world. Said it's the world's tiniest finish. I had to talk about it for an hour, but that was fun. We really had a lovely time. It was quite nice to have a little project like that, just to, like, I don't know, I've got so many projects that take ages. It's really nice to have those little tasters that doesn't add something to your work pile, but you feel a sense of accomplishment. And yeah, that is going to be gifted to someone. When I fully, because I might put their initials on it, I'll take a little video of when I fully finish it, but I probably won't share that till after I've given it to them, and that will be soon, in the next month or so. And then, glass of water. So that was Tuesday, and then I needed to pick up something else. So Cornelius got pulled out, aka Fraktur 12. So I'm calling Fraktur 12 by Stitching Spell. They were available on I got this on Etsy, but they're now available on, is it Inspire Uplift. So this one I've named everybody. So the names that are on there I added to the picture. So you guys help me pick those names. Cornelius and friends. We've got Chester, Bertram, Oscar, and Percival. Oh, and Jasper. So we've got a bunch on there. And yeah, Cornelius is the main bird, because I just felt like Fraktur 12 was a dumb name. So we named him Cornelius. He is on 40 count Cornstraw from Country Stitch, using mostly call for DMC. I tweaked a couple that needed to change to make them more like the picture when I pulled them. The turquoise, the blue wasn't turquoise enough, and one of the greens needed to change to, they were too similar. I think 2 or 3 I changed. Just to make work on my fabric, and I'm close to a finish. When I picked this up, I was just on just over 70%, and I'm now on 94%. And I did try and push for a finish, and then I had to frog something, and then I decided I was obviously tired and I needed to have a break. So last night I put it down at about 8 o'clock. If I pushed it at 10 o'clock, I probably could have finished, but everything above the bird has been added, everything above the main bird. And all of the flowers, the big flowers are still to be finished, and those 3 birds are still to be finished. So I had to frog down here. I'd miscounted the dark orange, and I'd started the light orange and realised I was wrong. So I had to frog all this bottom. There's a bottom petal here, down here. Yeah, but it's coming along. So all I've got to do, a bit of fill in on this flower, finish the bird, finish all 3 birds, they're missing pieces, finish this flower, finish something in there, and there's some big petals, and finish that there, and that's done. So like, I think this is a 20,000 stitch project, and I've got about 5-ish% to go. So 10% would be 2,000. So I've got about 1,000 stitches to go, so not much at all. And I finished 2 colours, like fully completed 2 colours, and I've got 2 colours that are like 2 or 3 colours that are on like 50 stitches or something. So yay, so I've got really close. So I'm just going to finish this today. Like, I'm going to push through and finish this tonight, because why would I put it away with 5% to go? That just sounds silly. So it'll be finished for next week. And then because I'm not counting those little start and finish things as, because they never become whips, but because I finished Mermaid Song and I finished this one, I'll probably pick another project to start. So I'm sort of letting myself, when I finish 2 whips, then I can start something, because I do have a lot in my stash. I don't know what it will be. Both of these are kind of primish style. I don't know, I'll just see what's in my box that appeals to me. For April, because we're nearly there, for the month of April, I'm going to give my Teresa Wentzler Fall Carousel Horse a bit of love. One of my goals for this year is to complete the border, the frame around it, and I'm nowhere near that, so I do want to give that a little bit of love. It's autumn, so let's work on that. Yeah, that'll be a focus other than my monthly stuff, and whatever else I start. So really keen to get finishes for my existing whips, and work away at my annual goals. So I think maybe next week as well, being the end of March, April, I might do a bit of a recap of what my goals are for the year, and I'm keeping a tick box of as I achieve things, which is quite nice. I'm very, very conscious that I'm sort of starting on projects that are easily finishable, and I am not working on projects that are not, but that's okay, it doesn't really matter. An X is an X is an X, right? So yeah, that's it. Quite a lot of stitching, a start and a finish, a near finish, and another ongoing whip, that new chart, which I think is really lovely. My wee market haul is in transit. Says it left International Airport in New York on the 18th, but I suspect that's lies, because it will be here by now if that was true. It doesn't take that long in New Zealand customs, but maybe it does. Maybe things are taking longer these days. Yeah, thanks to everybody over the last few weeks for lovely comments and things. I always appreciate how supportive my peeps are. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. So like and subscribe, check out the project details and my contact details, etc. in the doobly-doo. Find joy in your stitching. Keep safe, be kind, and as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.